So day 4 of Mental Health Week, and look, as before, continuing with my theme of looking after ourselves and how when we look within and look after ourselves, we become better use to other people and of more help to everybody else struggling with their mental well-being when we become more self-aware. I want to today just give 3 tips and 3 things that I'm doing that I believe that if you do, can have a huge impact on your mental health and well-being, and they're really easy to do. Okay, so number 1 is routine. Now, I'm somebody who hates routine. I don't like routine, but it becomes so important and so helpful to me in looking after my mental well-being. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, just simple things. But for me, in the morning and in the evening, knowing that I have them, knowing that I've got these to fall back on, offers me some kind of safety and allows me that freedom in the rest of the day. And I can almost fall into my routines in the morning and the evening, and in doing so, they become like a safe and happy place. So for me, I do the gym in the morning, a bit of mindfulness, and then I have a vitamin drink, and then in the evening, as I begin to wind down, I always iron my stuff for the next day, and I like to have a mindful shower as well, where I sort of wash the day away, and I make it a mindful moment. Think about washing the day away, and I'm cleansing myself, ready for the next day. And they might sound silly, and it might not sound like a lot, and you don't have to do as much as I do in the morning or as much as I do in the evening, but just having the things that you fall back on, like I say, if I wake up in a bit of a and I wake up in one of them days, then I fall into my routine, and sometimes they can free me from that without me even realizing. And during that part in the day when I'm free and I'm out of my routine, somewhere in me, my body knows, my mind knows that I'm falling back into my routine later in the evening, and it kind of, whatever's happened in the day, these evening routines, like I say, they offer me that safety, they offer me that closure and end point to the day, and they help me actually to live in the moment. So it's a weird sort of contradiction that my routine is one of the most important parts of me living such a free and spontaneous lifestyle. Number 2 is sleep. And I think this is vitally important. I try to avoid napping when I can. Not when I can. I do avoid napping, and I go to bed at 9:30 every night. But having that time where I know that I'm going to go to bed, and I know that's early for a lot of people. But again, it's a bit like the routine. Having that time, I've begun to train my mind and my body to know that that's when I shut down, and that's when I'm gearing up, ready to be productive for the next day. And look, I go to bed early because my mental health and my well-being and my internal world is a lot more alive in the mornings, and I'm a lot more useful to myself and other people in those earlier hours of the day. And when I say earlier hours, I mean through to the afternoon. The calamity of the day and the stress and everything of the day by the evening is often starting to take its toll of me, and I know I'm much less useful. But that's just me. Look, if you go to bed late and get up later type of person, then that's fine. But I do believe that sleep's important, and I've used I used a lot of in the past to help me get into this routine. I used a lot of different techniques. Sleep meditation was really important to me, just for helping to wind my mind down, wind my body down, and get me into that space where I'm able to sleep. And number 3 is stillness. Now, for me, it's mindfulness in the morning, and it's vital. It's become vital for me. Now, it's like anything, yeah. I've had to practice that, and it's taken a little while for me to reach a place where it's having a huge impact on my life. But that's like anything. If you're just about to start the gym, you're not going to be going lifting heavy weights straight away. It's going to take time and practice, and mindfulness is the same. Our mind is like any other muscle, and we need to train it. But that stillness is hugely important for my mental health and well-being. Hugely important. My worries and my fears and the things that cloud my mind often are sort of floating about in a place where I feel like I can't touch them. So, and when I can't touch or reach them, I'm unable to digest and process them in any way, and so they cloud me, and they bear me down, and they make me much less useful to the world in general and to myself. And in those moments of stillness, it's almost like I begin to arrange that, yeah. So the the more and more I've done it, the more and more I found I can go into mindfulness with my mind like an untuned radio, and it's like the mindfulness just begins to tune me in, and it just helps me to tap into the things that I'm struggling with, tap into my emotions that I've not processed, and free me up. Gives me freedom. So it's hugely important. And what you'll notice is that all three of them for me are all linked, and they're all connected, and they give me that connection in my life, and they all take very, very little time apart from the sleep, but you have to sleep, yeah. So they all take very, very little time, but they have a huge impact on my life. So look, if you've been watching these videos this week and you're interested in it, just start to give it a go. Notice your struggles with it, notice how difficult some of it are, and notice how you don't get any of them straight away. But give yourself that focus, and I really do believe that you'll see some change. And then if we all begin to change ourselves and look at ourselves, that's how we're going to have an impact on everyone's mental health and well-being.